I had read that you had taken an aptitude test in the seventh grade that recommended you go into what, forestry?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Went back and retook it. Do I have that story right?
Did I got the answer and then I went back and changed the answers so I could get the answer that led me into an art career because it told me that I should go into forestries. Like maybe I remember maybe it asked, do you like the outdoors, which I did. And maybe it asked, do you like to be solitary or something like that? Like in your job, do you like to be social or solitary? And I said I like to be solitary. And so it came up with forestries, which would have been great. But I've always had this creative bug that needs to be expressed somehow or another.
I love this idea that maybe you're living this wonderful, just this dream artist life. Your books are widely available. Um, Rover is still out there on the internet, and there's a part of you that says, "I always wanted to be in forestry. Why didn't I go out to the forest?"
Yeah, yeah. Well, I live in the mountains, so I get to spend a lot of time outside. So that's fun. But my sister's the scientist.
I wondered. I saw that your activities are mountain. Your hobbies are mountain biking,
Yeah,
and skiing, and things I would think that would put your hands, if not your whole self, at some sort of risk.
that's
Take
true.
precautions as an artist, or it's just.
No, just hoping for the best.
And I don't know how much mountain biking you're doing. I'm in my mind. I'm imagining a Mountain Dew commercial, but maybe it's a little bit more tame.
Oh yeah, no, not that. No, not that extreme. That's for sure. But you can get hurt if you're going fast downhill on dirt.
I know you can get hurt
but
skiing.
but well, yeah, but I have been skiing my whole life, so it can happen. That's for sure. But generally, I'm I pretty much stay on my feet.
But if you've been doing it your whole life, you've got a confidence that I here in Indiana, where everything's mostly flat, would not have on a ski slope.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I've also taught skiing. So I know I taught mostly kids, but then I've taught a few adults as well. And the center of gravity for a kid versus an adult is just so different. So it's easier to learn as a kid for sure.
Gotcha. So once you've got that down, then you can pretty much take that on with your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had also read your grandmother was a pastel artist.
Uh-huh. Yeah. She started she did some art in college, like some more biology type illustrations. Like there's this really beautiful pen and ink bird wing that she did, and she did some other stuff at that age. But then she was raising her kids, and my grandpa worked at Boeing, and they were moving around a whole bunch. Well, I think he had several jobs, but then in her, I think when she was around 50-ish, like my age right now, she started doing art again. And she did tons of portraits of all of us and just really beautiful pictures, nature pictures and stuff like that. So I have lots of her paintings around my house. And she did them in pastel, and then she would do like a beeswax coat over the top of them. So she never really, I don't think she sold them or did any shows or anything, but she created a lot of work.
And so, were you doing art with her when you were young, and was that maybe an influence on you toward art?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. She would lead me in different projects, and like they let me paint one of their walls in their kitchen when I was a kid. And yeah, we did a lot of that.
Like just a solid color, or
Oh, on the wall, I
uh-huh.
think I painted a big flower. It was very cartoon like too. I don't remember how long it was there, but it was fun to do it.
And then your father was a huge fan of Mad Magazine.
Yes. Uh-huh. right. So he led my sister and I into MAD at a very young age, definitely. Yeah, so he had a huge MAD magazine collection. And then the story goes, when he got married and was on his honeymoon, my grandma thought, well, he doesn't need these anymore, and threw them all out. So his
Oh
collection was
no.
gone. I know. I know.
Oh no.
Yeah, she
If
thought,
that's anyone other than
it's
your
all
mother,
grown
that's
up.
forgivable.
I know. I know. I know. My grandma really didn't have very many flaws, but I think throwing out the Mad magazine was one of them. This is a different grandma, not the artist grandma. But yeah, so he got us started on those when my sister and I, when we were pretty young, and we just loved them. We got them every month. And I definitely learned to draw from Mad. You know, I would copy the drawings and was heavily influenced by that sense of humor.
A friend of mine was cleaning out his house over the pandemic. So time has no meaning, but sometime in the last couple of years here, he found was a big anthology compendium of Mad, and it was all their parodies of Batman up through Batman and Robin. So all the Batman movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Sent it to me. It was just so thrilling, and the jokes were referencing things like I don't know, like Monica Lewinsky and the lady that spilled McDonald's coffee on herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just like jokes I remember from him. We thought, oh, what a wonderful time capsule. This is just one of the most beautiful things I've had to read all this pandemic. Thank you, friend. Nothing like an old Mad magazine.
Oh, they're so great.
This is from childhood.
Yeah. And I was probably reading them a decade or two, perhaps, before that. So I don't remember those stories that you're talking about, because I was probably like in my 20s and maybe not reading them every week like I used to. But yeah, there's so many funny, like so many old movies I know because I know the satire from Mad magazine, even if I haven't seen the movie. So when I watch the movie, it's funny because I'll have a sense of humor about the movie no matter what it is if I've read the parody. And also I think my favorite artist in there was, well, two. One was Don Martin, who did all the, do you know who that is? He did all his hands were always really funny, and they had the big hair and these hilarious expressions. And then the other one I loved was I just had his name and now it's slipping my mind. It's going to pop back in my head. But I Jack Davis, and I used to draw, you know, copy his cartoons and try to learn how to draw like that. So a lot of my art when I was younger, or my cartoons, looked a lot like Jack Davis's cartoons.
So you're like sitting down on something bright with a piece of trace paper?
No. I would just look at it and draw it and try to figure out like how he did all the facial parts and expressions and stuff. So yeah, no, I wouldn't trace it. I would just look at it and try to figure it out.